Alright guys, so here's your update. We did not get dilution for MULN today, but the market is following its trend from Friday and it's still crashing. The VIX just reached a new all-time high of 35.50. We're seeing exactly what we want to see as far as a market lookout. Now MULN is down 5%. It was down 6%. I ain't worried about that. We're the only stock that retail has bought all the dilution for. Our time to shine is coming. Earnings date for MULN. So E-Trade has said estimated May 16th, 2022. And it's been like that since I've looked at MULN 2 months ago. 2.5 months ago now, almost. And if we look here, Bazinga, this link right here where it's pink, says that Q2 earnings are confirmed for aftermarket on May 13th, which is a Friday the 13th. And last week when I did my other video, it said May 9th. And so they actually moved the confirm, it said confirmed May 9th, and they've moved the confirmed May 9th to May 13th, which is pretty strong assumption that it's going to be accurate this time if they just readjusted it in the last 24 hours. Now, that would suggest that we could get dilution on May 9th, and then we'll get earnings on May 13th. So with AMC, they did 4 months of diluting. They always announce their dilution before earnings calls. They've never announced new dilution at earnings calls, so I don't expect them to do it with MULN. It seems like too much of an announcement with too many eyes. And it's better to let that information out, let it settle for a week, and then talk about it. So, I mean, latest I'm seeing the last dilution would be May 9th. Another reason to think that is if we look at March 14th, they gave us all the dilution March 13th and before. If we look at March 28th, they gave us all the dilution of that Friday and before, March 25th and before. So that was a 2-week period they waited to give us dilution. Then they waited 3 weeks to give us dilution in the middle of April, and they only gave us the dilution from March 28th to March 31st. They left out the Friday and the 3 weeks before that. And so there went from a 2-week dilution notice to a 3-week dilution notice. And then when they gave that 3-week dilution notice, unlike the 2 dilution notices before where they gave us all the up-to-date dilution, they only gave us 4 days of dilution and they left the other 16 days out. Now, today was the second week of not giving us new dilution data, even though they haven't given us dilution data since April 1st. So it's almost like 25 days now. This is the second week that we've gone without any notice. And so next Monday would be the third week, which is the longest they've waited. And it's the Monday before the Friday earnings. And so it seems like the perfect time for them to announce it. The only thing that I'll say is if you got any money, if you got any funds left, like now's the time to gun it. Now's the time to gun the MULN stock. It is possible because we know that they're running out of dilution and they got almost nothing left. And that's why the volume's so low, because they don't got nothing to play with anymore. It's possible that retail could buy the dip enough right here in the next 4 days and squeeze this before Monday. And that would be amazing if we did. And if we didn't do that, if they decided to keep the price down and we bought too much and we bought all the dilution, the only way they'd be able to keep it down is to add to the short interest. And whether we squeeze before Monday and the announcement of dilution, or if we get the short interest built up in the next 3 or 4 days because they got no dilution left, so all they can do is short the stock, then that'll be perfect. Like, let's hurt them as bad as possible here. And so force them into shorting you or giving you the squeeze early by buying the dip right now. That is what I recommend. The volume is looking for a new record low again. Last 3 days have been extremely low volume, lower than we've ever seen it in the last 2.5 months. And it's still sitting there, so they're just praying you don't buy the dip anymore. That's all they're praying.